Hello pattern lovers, welcome to yet another exciting tutorial, and today's video will be a detailed tutorial on how to go about your 6 pieces blouse. So there are different methods of achieving a pieces blouse, and one of them is having a circle as the base for the fullness of the pieces blouse. So in this tutorial I'll be showing you how to manipulate a full circle to form your pieces blouse. So that means you can use a 360 degrees flare, you can also use 720 to control the fullness of your blouse. Kindly watch to the end to see how I did that. So I'll be using a princess bustier to show you how to go about this. You can use your shoulder dart princess bustier, but I'm going for armhole princess dart bustier. I know you're confused because of what you're seeing here. So we are going to manipulate this to give us the armhole princess bustier. Okay, in the second method I'll be showing you, I'll be using a shoulder dart princess bustier to show you another method of achieving a pieces blouse. So go ahead and slash these two darts, the waist dart to the bust point, then the shoulder dart, and then you close the shoulder dart this same way you see me doing it. I have a detailed tutorial on how to draft the princess bustier, the updated method. Please go ahead and check it out. Okay, so after closing the dart, you go ahead and blend in the shoulder. Okay, correct the shoulder this same way you see me doing it. Then you're going to give it that armhole princess curve. Determine where you want it to go, but I want it to be on the mid armhole, and that's where the curve is going to. Okay, so all of this is just that manipulation. Just centers around that manipulation. You manipulate one dart to give you another one, or you manipulate a dart to give you what you want, either fullness, style lines, or a perfect fit. So after all of that, I'll go ahead now and do my desired neckline. I want to use 3.5 as the width of the neckline and 8 inches as the depth. Go ahead and do whatever you want as the width and the depth, but just make sure you use your standard neckline measurement to get the shoulder slope, right? So my pattern master actually gave me a neckline inspo, and I'm going for that. It actually looked nice. So just follow the curve you have here. If you're going for this kind of neckline, follow the curve you have on your pattern master. You see how I placed it. Then you curve this one to the neck width, just the same way. You can see how beautiful the neckline is. Then I'll use my marker pen to make it more visible, just like this. Now to cut, I'm going to separate the front and back pattern this way. Then I'll go ahead and close the bust dart. The waist dart is already open, so you have enough room to close the bust dart. Go ahead and close it the same way you see me do it. Then you tape it down with your sellotape and then blend in the side seam line. Okay, go ahead and correct it because you can see that it's now distorted because of the dart we closed. Then I'll go ahead and continue cutting. Okay, just watch where and how I'm cutting this out. After cutting out the pattern, you already know how we do it on this channel. We cross check the pattern to see what we have, and with this type of armhole princess bustier, you don't have to worry about it being equal on the armhole because you didn't tighten anything on the armhole, so it's just the same. Moving over to the back, I actually didn't do the back the right way. I was supposed to have 16 inches here as the back length because the difference between my front length and back length is 1.5, and I already used the 1.5 as the bust dart for the front. So the right thing to do is to do the difference on the back pattern. So my dart length is 6 inches and I use 1/2 inch on both sides. Now go ahead and start from your center back contour line and measure your bust measurement divided by 4. Come to the waist and do the waist measurement divided by 4 plus the dart intake. It's very simple. Basically, just go ahead and draft out your bustier, any type of bustier you want to use for your pieces blouse. Go ahead and draft it out and ignore all of these parts. Now for the back neckline, I'm going to use 3.5 by 3 inches. 3.5 as the neck width and then 3 inches for the depth. Then I'm going to follow the same shape I have on the center back to add my zipper allowance of 1 inch. and connect it. And that's it for the back. I'll go ahead now and cut it out. And after cutting, this is what it looks like. So now we have 2 pieces for the back, and then we also have 2 pieces for the front. And now let's go in proper with the tutorial. You're going to measure what you have on the waistline of this pattern that you cut out. Go ahead and measure it and label it. So here I'm measuring what I have on the main waistline, and then I also mark out what I have on the with the zipper allowance. Okay, so I'll measure the side front the same way you see me doing it, and then write it down. I'll do the same thing for the side front. Measure exactly what you have and write the exact thing you measured out down on the same pattern. Okay, we're going to take note of this after the next step. So keep all of this aside, then take a fresh pattern paper the same way. So I'll be using this to cut out a full circle, but we'll do a little calculation. The waist circumference I'm working with is 26, and then you're going to divide your waist circumference by 6.28, which is the standard measurement for calculating a full circle. So when I do that, 26 divided by 6.28, it gives me 4.14012.739, which I will just approximate these plenty lines to 4.25. You can also do 5, and that would mean you include the zipper allowance. So the radius now plus the length of the circle, and I'm going for 8 inches as the length of the circle, and that would give me 12.25 in total. So I'll go ahead and fold this pattern in a way that both the width and the length will be 12.25. And I'm going ahead to fold the pattern. I folded in a single fold because I didn't cut the bustier on fold. Okay, so if you cut out your pattern on fold, you're going to also make sure that this is in a double fold. But since I didn't cut out the bustier part of this on fold, I'll just cut this one in a single fold the same way. Okay, so I'll go ahead and mark the 12.25 on this side, since I already have the 12.25 width wise. So this is like the lengthwise, and I'm just marking out 12.25. Now I'm going to start from this tip here and mark out the 12.25 all around. Go ahead and make sure you have 12.25 all around this pattern, just the same way you see me doing it. Take your time. You can use marker, but just know that marker has a way of adding to your measurement. So I don't actually like using marker on my patterns. So I'll mark the 12.25 all around, then connect it the same way. Like I said before, just take your time to make sure it's round enough. And then I'll start from the tip again and measure the radius, which is 4.25. It actually looks like 425, but it's 4.25. So I'm going to mark the 4.25 from this tip on around, just like I did for the down part. So by the time I measure from the radius to the length, you see that I have my 8 inches, and that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, go ahead and cross check the radius again to see if you have what you're looking for, and if you're sure you have what you're supposed to have there, go ahead and cut out your pattern. Make sure that whatever you're cutting out on this radius here will then match up with what you have on your pattern. You know, those bustier, the front and back we cut out. Make sure that whatever you have on the radius here will equal to whatever you measured and wrote down on the pattern previously. I hope that makes sense. So after cutting, go ahead and trim off all the trimmable, and I went ahead to iron out the pattern just to make it flat. And you're going to take out the half length, the one we cut out before now, and then you're going to arrange it. You start either with the front or with the back, but you're going to, if you want to start with the front, you're going to start with the center front, and if you want to start with the back, you're going to start with the center back. Okay, so what you're going to do is, I'm starting with the center front, so I'm going to measure 3 inches this same way you see me doing it. Then I will mark the 3 inches this way. Okay, then the side front is 3.5. I will mark the 3.5. Make sure you have exactly that 3.5. And then the side back is also okay, it's 3.25. I'll mark the 3.25 this way, and then I will measure the rest to see if it's 4.25 that I have on the pattern here. And I have exactly 4 inches here, which means I'm short of 0.25. That's not a big deal. I can easily add that on the fabric or later extend the pattern. Okay, so you're going to fold it the same way. Start from the tip and then fold to that 3 inches you marked out as the center front width, and then you cut it out. It's very simple. Just fold it that way, then you cut it out. Please label, it's very important. Okay, and do that before you cut out because you might forget. So I have the center front, the side back, and the center back. Then you're going to fold the side front like that. You have where you marked, just fold from one point that you marked to meet the other point that you marked, just like this. It's very simple. And then you cut it out, and there you have it. You've manipulated your circle as the fullness for your pieces blouse. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to manipulate the center front. Can you see how it's looking? So it's not straight on the center part like the folded part, except you want it open there. That means you're no longer making 6 pieces, it will be 8 pieces. Okay, it's 7 pieces as it is already. So I'm going to pivot this. Just make sure this center part of this center front pattern is straight. You're going to bend it the same way you see me doing it. You can see the other part of the flare going up. You know, the part that goes into the dart side is now going up on the half length. Can you see? Just make sure it's straight here. You can see it. And when I cross check with the second pattern, the side front, I place the flare part or the circle part from the waistline of the half length, and you can see that there's a shortage here, which you can just blend it in, cut that excess part to blend it in, or you fill up the center part. Okay, either way it will still give you the same result. So I'm going to tape it down and tape all of it down the same way. We already labeled it. It's just to tape it down, tape the down part and the upper part together to have this. Now another thing I want to say is the same way you cut it out, the same way you're going to place it. Do not make the mistake of taking the center back, the part that is supposed to go to the center back, coming to the dart side. Do you understand that? So the same way, label it. If you have to indicate so that you don't make mistake of mixing the patterns up. Okay, and then like I said before, the center front, there's a shortage on the dart side. So I'm going to place it the same way, making sure that the half lengths are matching up, the half length of the center front and then the side front are matching up. Then you can see the excess. So like I said before, just cut it, blend it into the other side if you want, or you can use a paper to fill it up. Place a fresh pattern paper under it this way, and then you're going to blend it in. It's just to fill up the center part. There's nothing serious. And like I said before, if you choose to cut off the excess, just blend it in to go the other side. It will still give you the same effect at the end of the day, right? So I'm going to fill it up the same way you see me doing it. Then I'll take out the side and tape down this one so that I can cut it out. Tape the two together this way and then cut out where you just marked. And by the time I cross check again, it's now equal. Can you see? So choose the one that suits your preference. Either you fill up or you blend in the excess part of the down part. Okay, so you're going to transfer this to your fabric, and you know that this center front, you're going to cut it on fold since it's a 6 pieces blouse. Actually 7 pieces because the back is going to be 4 pieces, right? And the front 3 pieces. So you label it. You're going to cut the center front on fold, the side front times 2 of that, the side back times 2, and then the center back times 2. You're going to transfer it to your fabric, and then if you want to add a goddess, It's very simple. You're going to just fold your pattern this way, like you want to cut a cone. You're going to fold it this way, and then you're going to measure exactly the same length you have as the circle. You know, the down part of the blouse, you're going to make sure you mark exactly that same value. Make sure the side is just like an A shape, the same way you see it here. So the length for the down part that I'm working with is 8 inches. I'm going to mark exactly that 8 inches. Then for the width, is dependent on you. Whatever you want to use as the width, go ahead and read it out. For me, I think I have about 4.5 here, and by the time I open that 4.5, it's going to give me 9 inches. So if you're okay with 9 inches as the wideness, go ahead and mark it. So you're going to just mark that 8 inches round this way. Like I said before, just like you want to cut a cone, that's just it. But make sure that this side here is straight, and make sure you are fine with the width, and then you're going to cut it out. It's as simple as that. So if you want it wider, increase the width, and then when you open it, it's going to be like this. By the time you are done adding your structured interface, you know, your peplum stay or collar stay, is going to look like cone this way. It's going to give you that very round form or shape by the time you're done. So I would advise that if you are adding this, start from the side. You know, the center, the front is always fuller when it comes to circles or fullness. So start from the side. You see, from the side front, you're going to add one. You're going to add to the that side of the back, and then that means you're cutting 4. Okay, you add one on the side seam, then you're going to add one in between the darts, in between the side back and the center back, and then on the other side, and that's it. And then a simple tip, add your hard interface on the flare part of this, you know, from the half length down. From the waist part down, add your peplum stay or collar stay there, or even bobinette, just to structure it and give it that fullness or round shape or circle shape by the time you're done with your blouse. Transfer this to your fabric and happy sewing. So here comes the end of our tutorial today. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.